Well guys, we bought another bike. Let's take a look. So we just picked up this sick XR100R. It's a 2003 Honda. It's a 4-stroke 100cc dirt bike, and here's a little clip of our very first ride. I'll throw up.
It's so cool! Like a once-in-a-lifetime illegal opportunity! I love it! I hope there's no cops! I hope we don't get caught by any cops driving down the road! We're doing probably 90K just flying!
So if you guys want to see that riding video, make sure you guys click the subscribe so you get notified when we post that video, because that video will be going live and it's fire. It's super sweet. It was super fun riding the bike for the first time and doing a little bit of illegal street riding, because why not? You know, that was fun. And like I said, this is a Honda XR. It's a 5-speed, 4-stroke, 100cc bike. It's similar to my Apollo RFZ that I have there. This one's got some bigger wheel set. You can definitely feel the larger wheels when you're off-road. They're much more convenient to have these larger wheels. The front has a 19 and the rear has a 16-inch, whereas the Apollos can only go as big as 17 in the front and 14 in the rear. My current bike has 14 front and a 12 rear, so they're quite small in comparison to this bike. But this bike's actually got quite a good little backstory on it. So I bought this bike for less than I bought my Chinese pit bike. So I bought this Japanese dirt bike for less than that Apollo. So the story was, this old lady had the bike, right? And it's been sitting at her house. She said she's had it for a long time and it just sat. So they pulled the bike out and she tried to start it and it wouldn't start up. So she gave up on it pretty quick. She threw it up onto Facebook Marketplace, and then like within 2 hours of her posting it, I sent her a DM and I went over and we ended up picking up the bike. And well, as you can see, starts up no problem. So as you guys can see, the bike kicked over like first kick, literally no problem to get it started. Pretty much it just had bad gas in it, and the carb was like completely filled up of like old gas. So like when gas sits in the fuel tank and you leave it for a long time, the gas will actually evaporate and then leave all this, I can't remember what it's called, but it's pretty much like a film that'll leave inside of your carb and like throughout the fuel tank, and pretty much just gonna clog up the entire fuel system. And that's exactly what happened. When we showed up to take a look at the bike, you know, obviously she started kicking it, thing wasn't firing over. So what are the 3 things a bike needs to fire? It needs spark, air, fuel. If it's got those 3 things, a bike will start. So what we did is we just went up to the spark plug, and you just pull the boot off, and then you can unscrew the spark plug, put the spark plug back in the end of the boot. Then you're gonna kickstart the bike and look at the end of this when it's in here, and you'll see you just connect that, put it to some piece of metal so it grounds out, and you'll see in between the end of the spark plug if there's a little bit of electricity, then you know you have spark or not. So we knew we had spark because the spark plug was firing and you could see a little blue electrode like spark going between it. So we knew we had spark. So the next you're gonna wanna check, right, is your air. So when we came to our air filter box, we popped the cover off the box, make sure that the air filter wasn't, you know, super dirty, super gross. Okay, air filter looked good. So then our next thing was, okay, let's just check fuel. So we popped open the fuel tank, and this was the dead giveaway. Once we opened the fuel tank, you could just smell, you put your nose to it. Oh, and it just stunk like, it smells like gasoline now. But it used to just, it stunk. It had this worst smell ever. And that was like the dead giveaway that the fuel was the issue and that the fuel in it was bad. So then to actually get it to start, is all we did is we ended up taking something similar to this. It's just a bottle. Ignore what's inside the bottle. You're gonna take a bottle and you're gonna wanna poke a hole in the lid of it, put some fuel inside of the whatever container you have, and then take that and you're gonna spray a little bit onto the air filter. And when you do that, it's gonna put a little bit of fuel into the system, enough that when it sucks in the air from the intake, it'll suck a little bit of fuel in and kick the bike over. Even though it had some super nasty rank fuel in it, it still started the bike up. So once I knew that the bike would start, it was like a no-brainer for how, like what the price of the bike was. So we just picked it up, and this is gonna be the new bike for my girlfriend to ride. She's been itching to get a bike, so I figured this Japanese XR100 would be like a good bike for her. It's got no scary power, like there's no scariness about it. It's a really nice, like confidence inspiring trail bike. And if you guys want to see, I can definitely do a comparison between the Japanese used dirt bike and a brand new Chinese pit bike. So if you guys want to see this comparison between the two, or even some like trail riding comparison, like what's different like on the trail riding between these two bikes, go ahead and leave a comment down below and we can make that happen for sure. So for those of you that don't know, the Honda XR100R, this is their trail beginning learner's bike. So it's something similar to the Apollo. So this is pretty much why I picked it up, because I wanted something with a lower seat height. So that's really what's nice about this, is this has the same 30-inch seat height. So the seat is nice and low to the ground, so you're able to still touch the ground when you're sitting on it, just like you can on the Apollo. What I will say is the seat on this bad boy is like sitting on a couch compared to that thing. That thing's like sitting on, I don't know, like an alligator's tail or some sort of dinosaur's spine that's like spiky as hell, because that thing is so uncomfortable to sit on. This thing's like sitting on a couch all day, so that's really nice. The power is just like super linear. It's never gonna like scare you or want to pop wheelies or anything, which is what I do kind of like about the Apollo. Is since I've swapped the 150cc into it, that thing is squirrely. That thing has got way more gas and that thing's got way more juice than this thing does. Like, it's got way more power than the Honda, which I'm pretty surprised that the Apollo Chinese bike would have more power than the a Japanese bike. But I mean, it is only 100, and this thing only has 6 horsepower. With that, has the 150 swap in it, it has around 12 horsepower. So yeah, this thing has old school drum brakes in the rear, has old school drum brakes up front. It has the old school style front forks, so they're more like bicycle style, where the fork is like the shock, I don't know, the piece is up top and then the reservoir is down below, instead of like newer shocks where they're inverted and you have the reservoir stuff up top and the actual shock down below. It's got a basic spring coilover McPherson style strut in the rear. And yeah, it's a really basic bike, super easy to work on, and they're super affordable. There's lots of parts still available for them, and it's a super comparable bike to the Apollo. It's great for trails, great for anyone who's learning. Yeah, it's overall just a really solid bike. I had a really good time taking it out for its very first ride, and if you guys want to see that video, make sure you guys subscribe, because that will be posted. If you guys want to check out any of our merch, there'll be links down in the description. You can check out some of our dirt bike stickers or our t-shirts. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys leave a like button if you enjoyed this content. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions between the Chinese and the Japanese pit bikes. I can go ahead and answer this for you, and make sure you guys subscribe for some more awesome content. So I will see you guys in the next one, which will be short. You should expect videos every Tuesday and Friday. So see you guys then. Peace.